What's going on, everybody? My name is Braden with Talos Drones. Today we're at Fresno State doing a demo day with the Talos T60X. So let's get into it.
What up, gang? We are currently here in Bakersfield. We're driving up to Fresno. This is what the ETA is looking like. We've already been in the road for 2.5 hours. Been quite the journey.
Shout out to Fresno State. Thank you, Daniel and the Dean. We support you guys and looking forward to everything else.
How can I say? It's just a good opportunity for students or whoever wants to be interested in agricultural spraying, because this is a pretty efficient way of spraying any materials / supplements to the plants, I think. And especially since it's a growing industry, it's just starting to take off. And I guess the only way we can get that out there is from videos and from students alone, basically. It was all right.
We at Sean Paul.
We are at city of Venezuela. I don't know.
So we're out here in Visalia. We're currently, just waiting for our food.
I am hungry. Been in the car for like 5 hours. Shout out to Michael. 5 hours of just straight driving. So
I love my life. I love my life.
that's the key.
No gas, all gas, no brake. Yes.
No gas, all brake.
T60X versatility. Feel it. We are in Fresno. And the gap is literally smaller than this bad boy.
Caught it in the garage. Just barely made it in.
We just had to have an angle right here. Hey, but the drones are away from the street life, so it's secure.
Good night.
Yo, we out here at Fresno State University. We got the gang here. What do you guys think?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the video. I'm always ready type beat, but I'm also nervous and can't wait to meet so many faces today.
Somehow I still do this stuff, so yeah.
What's going on, Talos Drones? Right now we're doing the presentation. Ryan's getting into the specifics of the drones. We have a pretty good turnout. Everybody looks very interested. And Sean Paul is about to talk. It's going to be a good time. Great specifics.
The way that I see it, that I'm kind of working on right now, and now that I know you guys have this multispectral sounds great, would be to do like almost daily or weekly multispectral imaging, and then if you're doing monthly spraying, then you feed that data in, and then you optimize your monthly spraying, right? And so you do that much smaller drone imaging, multispectral imaging on a much more higher rate, just more often.
Once you are logged in, as you can see, there's only one way to basically go into the map and all that. So all you're going to do is hit begin. I wish there was not so much dust.
I was gonna say, you could have told me, I would have wet this down.
Yeah, I know. We usually turn it on.
I got enough water in there.
Yeah, I know, but wow. So yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
Very maneuverable.
Yeah.
What I'm arguing is the amount of material we put out, and you can see how much of your tank has been used.
Yeah.
And I used to work with some crop dusters, and they have to do those extreme concentrations.
Yeah.
That's where their stuff drops way low.
I visited a farmer, so he was spraying with this drone, T60X, and he was spraying orchards and vineyards. And he was able to knock out like 40, 50 acres an hour. Today, I'm doing an interview with Daniel from Fresno State. He is an assistant to the dean, is that correct?
Ish, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say so.
How do you see agricultural technology evolving over the next 5 to 10 years?
I'd say probably expanding at kind of the rate that we've been seeing right now. So like coming from the drone industry, I've told a lot of people, I remember back when to create these NDVI and multispectral maps, it was taking 24 hours to run it. You weren't getting the best data off of it, and it was more for research purposes, where now we're using drones as the research tool and creating those maps in a matter of minutes out in the field, where that only took a matter of a few years. Wow. Where I'm seeing, if we're seeing that fast of an expansion alone, it's just gonna be exponential from here on out.
Yeah. Why do you think it is important for universities like Fresno State to expose students to drone technology?
The main one is kind of what we were talking about earlier. These are a staple practice now, where we have researchers that are utilizing the multispectral data regularly, where they might have to be going to hire out to a company that specializes in drone data. If you expose students to it and get them licensed and trained at the college level, now they can actually be the ones helping out the professors and working with the professors while they're in school. And then once they go into the industry now, you're already trained on it, you have that background, you're going to use it in your job compared to trying to learn a new job and learn a new technology all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, because that is one issue with college sometimes, is there's not enough hands-on experience. So it seems like with Fresno State, it's like you got 1,000 acres of farm. The students can actually get some hands-on experience with this stuff.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. That, like you mentioned with Fresno State, the scale of our farm is, this isn't small test plots or things like that. It's
literally,
our farm looks like an industry farm in the Central Valley, where yeah, anything that you do out here could easily be applied to any corporation or things like that in the area.
It's fascinating. How do you think drone technology can help agriculture become more sustainable?
I think moving towards using less chemicals would honestly be the #1 play that I've seen personally. So with using the multispectral drones to first do those NDVI and those crop stress analysis maps for understanding what is actually going on in your field. And with that, you're now able to adjust, do I need to be applying the max amount of water? Or are my trees getting more than enough that I can cut back and be more sustainable and save more water? And then on the chemical side, not even having to move towards organic for sustainability, just using less chemicals overall.
Right.
So being able to use the spray drone mixed with the multispectral and being able to cut down on chemical usage, the less chemicals, no matter how little that change is still less going into that.
Yeah. Also water too, I feel like would be a big thing too, because like the center pivot or some other type of ground rig, how much like water and chemicals is like.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like the water and chemicals really stack up versus, you know, some technology like the drones can, you know, really cut down the chemicals and be more concentrated.
Definitely, and going off that, like the center pivot and different things like that, is we have the technology now where there's center pivots that each emitter can be programmed to turn on and off depending on different areas.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is if you don't have the data to tell you where to turn on and off, what's the point of having that technology?
Yeah.
So I definitely
seems like that data is everything then.
Yes, the data from the drones is what's driving that precision.
One last question. If you could describe the future of agriculture in one sentence, what do you think it would be?
Oh, that's a really good question. Try to think of.
I'll give you some time.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Honestly, I think going back kind of what we said of with precision of good data in, good results out.
Right.
Would honestly to me be the one sentence that sums that up and would kind of give that almost theory and motive behind everything, is put good data in, get that set up, and then if you have the technology to back it on the outfeed side, you'll have that going forward.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.